My name is Itai. I work for TabTale. We are a company that creates hyper-casual games, and I'm sure you're all here for the right reasons. Came here to understand how to make your sausage grow. It's a very important. Sorry. Okay. How about now? Yeah. So we're gonna learn today how to make your sausage grow. But first, I want to tell you a bit about myself. I'm a father. I have two kids, 7.5 and 4-year-old boys, and I'm always trying to make them eat more vegetables, eat more healthy. And it's always a problem when you put the vegetables on the table, they never touch it because they rather eat the bread or the cheese or whatever. And I was thinking, what can I do to make them eat the vegetables? So I started creating vegetable paintings for them. Just cutting them up and using my imagination to create different characters and different stories and faces. And they really liked it. I mean, they are looking forward to it, and they're not only eating the vegetables and finishing the whole plate, they also, and that was a surprise for me, they're also playing with it. Like it becomes a game, it becomes like a storytelling for them. So they're saying, look, I'm eating his eyes, he can't see anything now, and oh my God, I took his hands off and now he's crying. And I mean, they're boys, so they're violent, right? So they, and not only that, they create their own stories. So they start making their own monsters and their own little stories. And I love it. And in a way, it makes sense because we all have a very strong relationship with our food, right? It's very emotional for us. It's not only to survive. Yes, we all hate food, like hate to the guts, and we all love food and can, go mad for food. And not only I caught up to it, right? Everybody knows it, and pop culture is making these points all the time. We all remember this famous scene from Inside Out with the broccoli. We all hate broccoli, although when we're adults, we love broccoli. Sausage party, of course, and we all remember the story that Google introduced their emoji of a hamburger, and the social networks went nuts because the cheese was under the hamburger, yeah, and it was the most important thing in the world. Yeah, forget genocide, forget everything. This is what we're talking about now. And it's not like we love to take good care of our food. We love our food when it's suffering, right? So we don't like just eat a potato. We need to boil it in boiling water and mash it. And maybe we can, boil it in oil. And we like to, slice and dice our vegetables. We don't like them like raw. So this pain-pleasure stuff we have with our food is something that really resonates with everyone. And I think this is one of the biggest pluses for our game, Run Sausage Run. This is basically the game. Yeah, you are a sausage and you run around the kitchen and you try to survive. And everything is trying to kill you. And you kind of want the sausage to survive, but you also kind of want to see it die. And that's why we put a lot of death animations. Each obstacle kills you in a different way. And it really exploded, and I'll tell you a bit more about it in our presentation. So first, okay, forgot about this slide. We decided to focus on food, yeah, playing with your food. So at TabTale, we create hyper-casual games. What are hyper-casual games? Games that are very simple, very intuitive, and you can play a full session, a full satisfying experience in 30 minutes, 1 minute, when you're on the tram and when you're in the toilet. So short production time, this is important, and broad appeal, so everybody can play it. We're not chasing whales here. We can't get a lot of revenue from in-app purchases, so we need to spread a wide net and catch all the little fishes, which is all of you, and just make some revenues from ads. That's why it needs to be instant intuitive. You need to see the video in social networks or in the store and understand from the video what the game is all about. And basically the video is almost a tutorial. If it's not the case, then the game might fail. And of course, it's ad supported. No one will pay for this shit. What's next? Okay, a bit about our process. We are working on a high volume of games because you can work on retention and you can work on your game elements and try to perfect them, but this is only half of the equation. The other half is how much virality there is to the game, how much the audience will like it, and you never know. Sometimes you think it's just, meh, and the audience goes wild for it. Sometimes you think it's the best thing in the world and no one cares to download it. So you need to create a lot of games and push them all out and just continue with the ones that show promise. So we have a think tank that works all the time, bringing games from all elements of life, different games, life experiences, web pages, I don't know, crazy ideas, after using some drugs, I don't know. And then we are creating one-pagers. Sometimes we need to prototype them. Sometimes the one-pager is clear enough. We go to production, we create like an alpha or like a vertical slice, and we test it, doing some retention tests. And if it shows promise or we really believe it, it goes ahead to soft launch. So the first stage is brainstorming. I'll try to illustrate the process by using run sausage run. So first, we have a one-pager. The name was Limbo Sausage. Yeah, in the game designers, his name is Gil. In his game design, the game designer imagination, it was a sausage. He likes an object that bends backwards. This is the only mechanics. You tap and hold, and it bends. And he said, okay, why will anyone anywhere need to bend when they play Limbo, right? You hold the stick and you try to go under it. So this was the basic idea of the game. Had some Aztec spears there. I don't know. It didn't make it for the final game. And this idea was good enough for us to say, hey, it sounds funny. Let's prototype. And we prototyped it, just a basic noodle and squares and circles as obstacles, and it was really fun. One of the funnest prototypes that I ever played, and we sent it straight to production. And it was clear, by the way, straight from the prototype, that it needs to be very funny, with a lot of animations and a lot of fun and funny elements in it. And we found a studio that works with art and production, and we outsourced the game. And this is the first concept art, and most of it made its way to the final game, which means we were all synced from the start. It's not always happening, but when it happens, it's really fun and everything flows. So that is the part of concept art and writing the GDD and everything, really closing up the details of the game. Then we have the alpha, right? It's just gameplay again, but on the sound infrastructure, right? The game needs to work with all the elements, and the UI needs to get connected. It's not implemented, but it's still, all the infrastructure is there. Then we go to the vertical slice. Basically, a window to the game, right? You have one character, one background, one obstacle set, but it's somehow balanced, and you can really get a feel of the game. It represents a run, like a solid run. No other skins, no store, no full UI, no services, no ads, nothing. Sometimes we release these games in this stage for a retention test, because you can really try to get a sense of, is the game interesting to anyone? But for this game, we didn't release it yet. We implemented game elements, skins. We knew that skins here will be something that people really want to play for, and daily gifts and whatever. And the release candidate is, of course, the complete game with ad implementation and our SDKs and everything, analytics and everything. And then it goes to marketing. So now for a quick quiz. What icon do you think is the final icon that we used for the game? Just show of hands, who think it's number one? Okay, who thinks it's number 2? Who thinks it's number 3? And number 4? Okay, so it's number 3. Yeah. I also thought that the graphic ones that shows the game truly will be the winner, but no, I guess this one was more alive and you kind of felt the fear more. So we use this one, and of course we'll keep changing it for Easter and stuff like that. It's very important. And we went to soft launch. So in the soft launch we check, of course, with your sausage, before you show it to the world, you need to make sure that you show it to someone you trust and make sure that everything is fine. So we want to check retention and usage, and we found out that the game is highly viral. Yeah, for every download that we bought with user acquisition, we got 2 for free, which is very good, and in later stages even 3 for free. And we found out that there are a few problems with the game flow. So when the game came out, it was like a game run, then you fail, you die, and you are introduced with a revive pop-up. And if you use it, of course, you come back to the game. But if you don't, you can click an X button and go to the game over screen, click on replay, and go to the main screen, and then tap to play. So 3 taps between runs. And for this simple game, it was too many taps, too many points for the user to say, you know what, I need to go. So we changed it, and we made it so that when the game run ends, the revive pop-up is implemented into the game over screen, which is basically the main screen and the game over screen fused together. And he can revive if he wants, but if not, he can instantly tap to replay the game. And we made it so that from 3 taps, we're down to 1, which is amazing, and what you really need to strive for in these kind of simple games. Just cut the distance between runs. And we came out with a coin system only. It was the norm in the day. Just get out with coins and collect coins and unlock characters. And we decided to go with an achievement system. So we took half of the characters, and you can't buy them with coins. You need to complete achievements like run past 30 obstacles without dying, or die by this and that obstacle 5 times in a row, stuff like that. So it gives you something to play for. So not every run is the same. You're playing for different stuff. And just these 2 changes were able to increase retention by 30% and usage by 40%, which is amazing. And then we released the game. So at one point you need to just show your sausage to the world and see what people are saying. And the results were amazing. So we released the game in 2017 in December, right for Christmas. And they always say, don't release a game before Christmas, because all the giants are releasing their updates and their games and pushing it with user acquisition. And we didn't hear about that. And thankfully for us, it was something refreshing, and people it resonated with people, and they really downloaded it by the masses. So we got 40 million downloads in 4 months, and we reached #1 overall rank in 37 countries, and we were in the top 10 in iOS overall, not just in games, for 24 days, and in GP we were like 97 days in the top 10, which is amazing. It's like 3 months, and it was a fun month or 2. It was really good. And sometimes when my phone is dead and I'm alone with my thoughts and thinking, what am I doing here? I like to look at this screen, which is all the places that we reach #1 in the store. And it makes me feel a bit better. And then I go back to work. And of course, if you don't have at least 70 clones of your game, then you're doing something wrong. So, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So we're flattered. Of course, we call Google and tell them to take everything off, but they keep popping up. And another, so we released the game to the full launch, and I would like to share with you a few lessons and interesting stuff that we learned after the release. And one of them is that perfect is the enemy of good. We, as a game design team, didn't want to release the game yet because we felt there are some balancing elements that were a bit not closed all the way. But our management was smart enough to say, it's good enough. We like playing it, our kids like playing it, it's cross-section of demographics. Let's release it and fix it on the way. And we said, yes, but if you play the game in a certain way, you can go on without dying. And they said, yeah, but it's fine, don't worry, no one will pick it up. And a day after we released the game, everybody picked it up, and it was like, there are like 900 YouTube videos about how to cheat the game and get to high results. And you know what? It didn't interfere. People kept playing the game, they liked it, and maybe all the videos helped the virality of the game even more, so you never know. Of course, we fixed it, but the game was released worldwide like that. So now we're entering live ops. We're trying to see how we can improve the game, improve monetization, improve the experience, coming up with new obstacles and new systems. We try to use as much data as possible. So here you see the range of obstacle difficulty and death by obstacles. And you see that it's more or less balanced except one obstacle, which is the reverse chainsaw, which is really hard. Now the question is, should we fix it or not? Because yes, it's extremely hard, but the numbers are good enough. We don't know, so we still haven't fixed it, but we're thinking about it. When you go out to when you go to number one and you stay there for a while, you become a part of pop culture. I'm not trying to be, it's not that I think I'm a part of pop culture now, it's nothing like that, but you are in the spotlight, and you need to make sure you have the sensitivity because a lot of people are playing the game, and also this game is all about pop culture and funny and, you know, staying up to date. So we broadened our skin collection, and we added a few more funny skins. So one of them was this Afro dude. Yeah, we thought about stuff that can be tall, like a sausage. So I thought about this guy with a tall Afro. And this is what the developers made. They are Macedonian, so they don't have any clue about American culture. And this guy was cool, but something in his face and his lips felt a bit off to me. And there's something called blackface, which is very, very sensitive in the US. It's when white actors put on a blackface. It's a big no-no. It started in the 19th century in the US because, of course, black people, African American, they couldn't perform in shows. So white actors will do the black faces, and of course they left a big lips pink, which is very stereotypical and very wrong. And Jinx by Pokemon, they got a really big backlash because of that. They had to change their character to be purple. And it's just a small correction, but when we released the character, it looked like that. And it's all fine, but you really need to know this kind of stuff, and you really need to be sensitive. Another example is our robber. We wanted a bank robber, and you know, especially today with American gun laws and gun violence, and of course I have 2 kids, I didn't really want the gun there. It wasn't necessary. If there's a game about guns, sure, we can make guns if it's a game about gun, but in this case it wasn't really necessary. So I said, take the gun off. And when they took it off, I said, you know what, it's not a robber anymore. And but you know what, it kind of looks like a sex slave, right? Like a gimp. And I said, let's make a gimp. Yeah, kids don't know what it is. It won't turn out, you know, red lights for kids here, but adults will get it, and it will be funny. And how will we call it? We can't call it a sex slave or a gimp, because I don't want kids to search gimp. So we call it robber. It works. And you know, you have some opportunities here. So this character is really nice. It's the bacon. And we can call it bacon, but we can also call it Kevin, right? And it can work, yeah. And then we arrived at the starter pack. We wanted to introduce a starter pack to get some in-app increase. And we thought, what will sell the starter pack best? And we thought, what is making people, what is on everybody's mind at the moment? And we thought, what is on the news, what is on pop culture, what is on social networks? And what is on the news for the past year is, it's not working. These guys, right? They're always on the news. Sometimes they love each other, sometimes they hate each other, and the news portray them like that. But we really look at them like this, right? It's a big show, and we don't know if it's something to laugh about or cry about, but this is basically how we saw it. And we said, yeah, definitely, this should be our starter pack material. And we created these characters, which I love. I'm a fan of Putin, by the way. I have a few shirts of him on the bear. I bought it in Moscow, and it's one of my favorite shirts. And yeah, so we released the starter pack with 1,000 coins and no ads, and it really exploded. You can see the chart of in-app revenue. So it was really great, and it was the right choice. Then we decided to release another update with some new character pack for in-app. So we went for singers, like pop music idols. And I'm asking you, what do you think? Which characters will you use for, the best singers at the moment? So it's an open question for the crowd. Lady Gaga, okay, a bit 2012, 13. 2017, come on. What? Bruno Mars. Drake, okay. Okay, we went with these guys, yeah. And we just check best earning singers of 2017 and best top chart singers of 2017. We came out with these guys, and of course they're all high profile. And we released a sports pack. So who would you use for sports? Soccer, tennis, track. From Liverpool. No, I don't know him. So imagine it's not him. Baseball player? Okay, so we went with these guys. Yep. Let's continue. Community. Community is very important, as we all know. And we really try to listen to them because people really connected with this game, and we have a lot of reviews and a lot of written reviews as well, with suggestions. So these are just a few of the suggestions: add more world, add more sausage types, add missions, make them scream. It's a popular demand, and add Obama and Hillary, right? I don't know. So we try to listen. And we also try to answer as much as we can. We can't answer everybody, but we really try to answer. And we also try to answer in the spirit of the sausage. And people find it really fun, and we're trying to keep the brand cohesive. That's why our ratings are pretty high for a game that is ad-supported. Just an example, this guy, I think we have time. I'm going to read the entire thing. So, ever since discovering Sausage Rhine in a soul-searching trip to Mozambique, my life has gone a full 360. Down about a recent failure in breeding my hamster Taco, I was spending money wildly and on the cusp of bankruptcy. Then, on a train headed nowhere in the delicious outskirts of Mozambique, I discovered a game. The man sitting next to me, called Torrance, had just reached 109 and was livid when he was sliced into two. I quickly downloaded the game and began playing. Of course, rediscovering my long-lost culinary skills. Once returning home to the hills of San Fran, I have opened my new restaurant, Sausage for Real. Thank you, Sausage Run, for saving my life and finally giving it meaning I have yearned for so long. Amen. So when you see something like that, you think, how are you going to reply? So we replied, whoa, what a story. You have touched our souls. As a matter of fact, the whole idea, I have it here. The whole idea for this mind-blowing game was born after our lead game developer returned from a cattle breeding vacation in Las Pampas, Argentina. He told us that the encounter with a running, breeding bull named Jose led him to that magical moment of pure inspiration. Call it fate, call it karma, well, we call it Run Sausage Run. Keep it real, bro, and keep playing. Vaya con Dios. Okay, so we didn't say much, we just basically said thank you, but we kept the spirit of this guy and also the spirit of the sausage, and I feel this atmosphere is what helped us stay in the top charts and stay in the hearts of people that play the game. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we have time for 3 questions or something. Yep. Any questions for this great guy?
Thank you for the great presentation.
Who's talking? Okay.
You talked about your soft launch. So I was wondering, did you target a specific country or a specific segment of the audience? Can you elaborate on that?
The answer is no. We didn't target a specific audience. We released the game for soft launch in different countries, depending on where the previous soft launch was, because when you release a lot of games for soft launch, you want to make sure they're not competing with each other on the same audience, because it can affect the CPI. So we release it in a specific country and just do a very quick user acquisition campaign. We target just basically the same audience that we target for all our games. These games should be appealing to millions and millions of users, so there is no specific target demographics. Of course, we're not trying to target the solitaire players and the social casino players, but we target male and female from 13 to 40. Not a specific demographics.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Well, okay, I have a question for you.
Okay, thank you. If anyone has questions afterwards about how to make sausages grow, then PM me and...
Yes, I should know that, yeah.
Yeah.
My question is about your amount of prototypes you kill at every stage. So what are the ratio?
Okay, I don't remember the ratio by heart, but we try to come up with 5 or 10 new ideas every week. This is just ideas, well, just one-pager ideas. So we have, let's say, 500, 600 ideas in like 6 months or so. And we try to prototype, let's say, 50. And from that, maybe 15 goes on to production.
And by production, you mean launching it in some countries, like soft launching it?
Yeah, soft launching, of course. Production ends in a soft launch, and if the soft launch is successful, then you go to a worldwide release. And in 2017, I think we took about 3 or 4 to worldwide release. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's very healthy ratio, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you again. Not sausages, but something you can enjoy.
Oh, thank you.